You join us today in Castlerock, which is a little town on the north coast of Northern Ireland. It's a really calm, still day, and we've got a low tide. So we're going to be walking up to that little dome building on the top of the hill, which is called Mussenden Temple. We'll be walking along the beach, along the front of the rocks, and then up the hill on a short road section to get to the Lion's Gate, and then we can get to Mussenden Temple and come back into Castlerock over the top of the hills. High tide is in about... no, high tide. Yeah, we're going to walk along at high tide, that'll be good. Hope you brought your snorkel. Low tide is in about half an hour. Despite my usual extremely good preparation, I have no backpack, so I found this rather fetching multicoloured one. And we got food and snacks, drinks, shoes, jumpers, sunscreen, water, dog lead, dog food.
And the dog.
The dog's not in the backpack. Looks like someone's got stuck on the beach. Let's go and have a look. Yeah, the sand's very soft to drive on.
No, we're walking along the path because dogs aren't allowed down at the beach, don't know.
Why is there a dog control order down there?
So there's no dog poo there, so kids can play.
That's right, no cars, no dogs. Horses, it seems, are allowed for some reason, which I find a bit strange, but there you are. But it's to make a family-friendly section of beach. The level of sand on this beach is a lot higher than it used to be when I was young. So the question is, how does all this sand get moved and why?
Yeah.
We'll stop for a snack in a wee minute, alright? The answer is guesswork, but storms, wind, wave size, tidal height, and even things like the amount of seaweed growth in the seabed out to sea. When all this sand gets moved out to sea, and if there isn't much seaweed out there, then the sand won't stay. So anyway, at the minute, this beach is quite a bit higher than it used to be, and that makes tides go further out because there's more beach. And this is the rock face. Get it? The rock face. A face. And the rocks. It's a good one. The rock face.
Bum face.
Not the bum face, it's the rock face.
Bum face.
So these cliffs have eroded in places, and there are some caves, some undercuts and some proper caves, which we'll see a bit further on. For anybody not keeping count, Bobby's about 9 months now, I think. Are you about 9 months old now? There's obviously a stream of groundwater leaking out at the top of this. So why is it that there's tons of moss growing here and there's not moss growing here?
Because of the water.
Well, this gets water, it rains, and the sea splashes up on it every day, so why not here?
It's constantly getting water.
What kind of water?
Fresh water.
Fresh water. Yeah. This is the section that we call the blowhole, but it's actually a bridge. A huge amount of this basalt rock. It must be hundreds of tons sitting there. Even the sand level here has changed a lot in the last year. And that opens up in there to climb out. It's about 12 feet high. We'd love to see it in storm, but not today. This is the first big cave. It might be the biggest cave, I don't know. It's like 50 feet high or 40, I don't know.
There's a dog that's up to my knees.
A dog to scale, yeah.
This is creepy. I'm not scared of this hole. I'm scared of this duck.
You're not scared of millions of tons of rock falling on your head? There's a pigeon. I've got it. It's not very bright. These rocks have got the most beautiful, soft texture to them. You rub your hand on it, Becky, you'll see how soft it is. Really smooth from being battered by the Oh, it won't. The water won't come in because it's low tide. The water is really far away. We can see that down there. It's cold in here, isn't it? Watch your head, okay? Just watch your head.
I'll go in because I'm small enough.
And this is as far as it goes. It's kind of spooky, isn't it, Dan? Kind of spooky because it's so dark and you can't see the waves, but you can hear them roaring from the outside. So it seems like any second, that's it. And then the whole roof is going to cave in. Billions of tons, trillions of tons of rock. It's all right. Stay there. It's spooky, isn't it? Rawr!
Did I scare you?
Yes, always, every day. It's just the sound of your voice in the morning. I'm terrified. We stopped for lunch at a place that would be about 2 meters underwater at high tide. We're not at exactly low tide. Tide will have turned and be starting to come in now. And we're just coming around the corner to somewhere that Daniel likes to call
Seagull Hell!
Seagull Heck.
Seagull Hell!
Seagull Heck! Where there's a nesting colony of gulls and they might dive on us. Do you know why they nest up here?
Where no predators can get them.
Exactly. Nothing can get up there except maybe other hunting birds, other birds of prey. And they have another cave.
Which stinks.
This one is higher, it's like 60 feet high. We'll not be going in there, okay?
Yes.
Because it's covered in poo, which is also called guano, but that might only be rat. What are those flying mice called? Bats. I think bat poo is the only thing that's called guano. Let's keep moving. Did you not make it? Okay. Did the waves come in too quick that time? From this part of the beach, you can see all the way down Castlerock Beach, out into the Atlantic, and all the way to Downhill Beach. This is the Black Glen where the train runs through. It'd be great if there was a train going just now. No. But there isn't. About 12 feet high off the sand.
But there's plenty of space. There's a good spot to sit that's far enough away from the edges.
Yes?
I would say it's pretty safe.
So there's a train track cuts through the mountain on the left and the mountain on the right. On the right is part of the National Trust property, but I think we'll be on top of that later.
What?
That's not a train. What are we learning about today?
But we're really exploring.
We are. We're exploring the coast and the caves and the rocks and the seaweed and the beach.
Well, we've already seen two of the caves. We've seen Seagull Hell.
Don't do that. Put it away.
We've seen Seagull Hell already.
Heck, Seagull Heck.
And
Are you scared in the dark cave?
we haven't been here before.
No, we've never been here before. We've been on the other side of the railway line. We've never been here. And we're also seeing the quite dramatic effect of a tidal change, how far the tide can go out. And can you stop that, please? And like there's a risk of getting trapped by the tide. We've got about 4 hours before we get trapped, so it's not going to happen, or maybe 2 hours. But that makes it a little bit more exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, we should keep going before that RNLI guy comes and yells at us.
What?
So he might say, "Oh, you guys are going to get stranded by the tide. You better move." I think that's how he speaks. One more cave.
Is there a dead sea in there?
No, I think it's just a rock. Ah, no, a train. Ah! I just saw like the very, very back of it. Like we're out here for half an hour and then we're in there for 1 second and the train goes past. Typical. The rock formations here are incredible, aren't they?
Yeah. That would have been a massive arch.
It would have been a stack. There's the Mussenden temple up there where we'll be going to later. This is Downhill Beach. We made it. Yeah, why not put a footpath here? There is space. This is the road section from Downhill Beach up to the National Trust Castle ruins. Okay.
It's good if there's a path here.
It is good to have a path here. But why don't they have a path there? I don't know. Come on. Coleraine Borough Council or whoever it is.
So it has to go.
Well,
These are the trees that we've already passed.
yes.
And here's the path down to the trees.
And apparently way over that way is where we'll get ice cream from. This section of the domain was fruit trees and a fruit and vegetable market, and then that cool thing down there called the Dovecote, which is a birdhouse, and collect their poo to use as fertilizer. Wow, the wall is completely made of birdhouses. Huh. This is Mussenden Temple on the inside. It's got this incredible brick vaulted ceiling. The whole structure is brick and mortar. I guess these semicircles would have been for lamps. And the view out of here is quite unnerving. So just looking straight down there. Big rock in the middle of the bay is where we had our crisps, isn't it? Here's the north entrance to the castle. We have to go down the path on the other side of the castle. At some point, I think during the Second World War or something, it was used by the RAF. The wee sign says that the National Trust are doing some repair work here. We're looking for this ice cream shop, but I just need to check the map. Thanks for that, Rebecca. We found a little shady spot to sit down and have some lollies. And
there's 3 drinks and 3 lollies, and it only cost us £1 grand.
Only cost us £1,000. That's absolutely right. We found the Bishop's Play Trail. Go! Quickly. The crocodile is coming. Big top. Quick! And there's the black glen with the lake in it, and you can see the railway line at the far end.
Oh, I am so hot.
What do you say?
Oh, I am so hot.
Yeah, it's very hot. But we've made it back to the caravan park at the top of Castlerock. We made it back.